Arash, the archer. Thousands of years ago, Persia and its greatest enemy had been at war for so long that no one could remember how it had begun. Villages were destroyed, families were disappeared, and countless soldiers had lost their lives. Neither side could claim victory. So, at last, both kings agreed to end the bloodshed. But there was one condition. The border between the two kingdoms would be decided by a single arrow. The bravest archer in Persia would climb to the top of Mount Damavand and fire an arrow. Wherever the arrow landed, that would become the new border. The Persian people would stand. One arrow would decide the fate of an entire nation. But there was a problem. No ordinary archer could shoot an arrow that far. Then a man stepped forward. His name was Arash. He wasn't the strongest warrior. He wasn't a king. He wasn't a famous general. He was simply an archer. But he was willing to give everything for his people. The elders of Persia gathered around Arash. One of them spoke in a quiet voice. Arash, there is something you must know. This is no ordinary arrow. The gods have declared that whoever fires it with all their strength will give their life. The crowd fell silent. Everyone understood what that meant. If Arash accepted his mission, he would never return. His family begged him not to go. His friends tried to stop him. There must be another way, they said. But Arash looked at the people around him. He saw children who had grown up knowing only war. He saw families who had lost everything. He knew that if no one accepted this sacrifice, the war would continue. So he smiled and said, "If my life can bring peace to my people, then it is a price worth paying." At sunrise, Arash began climbing Mount Damavand. With every step, more people followed behind him. No one spoke. They knew they were witnessing the final journey of Persia's greatest archer. When Arash finally reached the summit, he looked across the endless mountains. He took a deep breath, placed an arrow on his bow, and prepared for the shot that would change history forever. A cold wind swept across the summit of Mount Damavand. Arash closed his eyes for a moment. Then he raised his bow. With all the strength left in his body, he pulled the string back. It's said that he poured his heart, his soul, and every last drop of his life into that single arrow. Then he let go. The arrow shot into the sky like a flash of light. It flew over mountains, across forests, over rivers and valleys. The people below watched in silence as it disappeared into the horizon. It flew for hours. Some legends say it traveled from sunrise until sunset. Finally, the arrow landed far away, near the banks of a great river. The border was drowned where the arrow fell. The war was over. Peace had finally come to the land. But when the people turned back to look for Arash, he was gone. His strength had left him with the arrow. Though his life had ended, he sacrificed saved a nation. And for centuries, the people of Persia remembered his name. Not as a king, not as a conqueror, but as the man who gave everything so that others could live in peace.